At last he came to a land on which he had never set foot before, and he went into the town. So the ship was tossed around. Tossed around means, have you seen clothes in the washing machine? They go like that. The boat was tossed around like clothes in a washing machine. And finally he came to a land, and he had not come to this place. So let's leave that question there. We'll come back to it. At the inn, what's an inn? Inn is like a small hotel. At the inn where he turned in, at an inn is like a very small hotel. He turned in, a board was laid, a board, like a table. A board means a wooden board. Like we have tables these days, our tables look very good. But those days, they took some wood and just placed it on some legs. That's it was like just a board, just a wooden board, a wooden plank. So when they went to the inn, they saw a board was laid with a rod for each man who sat at it. So there was a board, like a long table, and where every man sat, there was a rod, like a whip, a rod, a whip to hit something. The merchant wondered what they were to do with all these rods. Well, as soon as the meat was set on the board, he understood what the rods were meant for. So they sat at the table, and near the table was a stick. What are they supposed to do with the stick? But when the food came to the table, when the meat was placed on the table, out swarmed mice in thousands. Mice. What are mice? What is the singular of mice? Mouse. So as soon as the food was kept on the table, thousands, hundreds of mice, not one mouse, hundreds of them, they swarmed. What's a swarm? They came in groups and groups. Bees, have you seen a swarm of bees? And when you see bees, they don't come in one and two, they come, so many come. Bzzz. Big group, that's called a swarm. And everyone who sat at the table took his stick and began to flog and flap. They began to hit the rats and kept saying, shoo, 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 shoo. Can you see how funny that was? So when he went to the inn, he saw a board and there was a stick where every person sat. As soon as the meat was placed, swarms of mice, meaning hundreds of them in groups and groups, they were jumping all over the table. And everyone who sat at the table took his stick and flog. Flog is to hit or flap about it. It's like flapping it like this, shoo, 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 go away, go away, go away, go away. Hard work to dine in this land, said the merchant. Dine, it's very hard, difficult to eat in this place. But do folks not keep cats here? Because how come you do not have cats here? Cats, they asked. They had never seen or heard of a cat. So did the merchant have a cat? Yes, of course, he had a cat. Why did he buy the cat? Look at that fat cat there. He bought the cat for the boy. The boy gave him his honest penny and he bought a cat. And the merchant fetched the cat. Fetched the cat means he brought the cat he had bought for the scullion. Remember scullion? The kitchen boy. As soon as the cat got onto the table, off ran their mice to the holes. The folks had never before enjoyed such rest while eating their meat. Because this cat sat there and frightened all the mice away, and the people were able to eat very quietly without being disturbed by the mice. So they begged the merchant to sell them the cat. And at last, after a long time, he promised to let them have it for $100 and happily agreed. $100. Which country has dollars? Maybe this man went from Norway to America. America has dollars. Maybe he went to America. We don't know. If in Europe, if Norway is here, if you travel west, you come to America. The merchant set sail again, and to his surprise, saw the cat sitting at the main masthead. He sold the cat. He got $200 for it. But when he came to the ship, he found the cat sitting on the ship. The cat had escaped and come back to the ship. And again, there was a storm. Remember the first time there was a storm? Again, there was a storm worse than the first. And he sailed till he got to a country that he had never seen before. The second time again, he came to another country after the storm. The merchant went to an inn, and here again, the board was spread with rods. But here, every mouse was twice as big as the one he had seen in the previous country. So in this country also, there was a board and there were sticks. But when he saw the mice, he realized these mice were twice bigger than the mice he had seen in the... Again, he sold the cat and got $200. So how many dollars did he have overall? First time he 200, now 200. So 200 plus 200, $400. Look at the meanings of the words. I cannot afford it. I have no money. Farthings, a former bronze coin of Great Britain. Farthings are small coins. Swan, moved about in large numbers. Board, a rough kitchen table. Flog is to hit. Remember, they took the rods and they flogged and flapped. The merchant set sail again into the sea. The weather got bad again, third time. First time, second time, now this is the third time. The weather got bad again, taking him to